Hey guys, I have another easy upcycle for you this week, and it has to do with masks. The majority of masks that are sold are the ones that go around your ears. My brother asked me to make him a mask that goes around his head and not around his ears because he wears glasses like me, and with your glasses and your mask around your ears, it can get uncomfortable when you're wearing a mask all day. So I have a bunch of black masks already. So since I've already made probably 300 or 400 masks since the beginning of this pandemic, I thought I would just use some that I already have. And I'm going to just cut off the elastics at the top. So then those two elastics are still attached at the bottom, and those will go around the base of the neck to keep it on. I don't have any black elastic, and you could obviously just go buy some, but at the beginning of the pandemic that wasn't an option. You couldn't find elastic anywhere, so a lot of people ended up making their own ties out of jersey or any kind of stretchy shirt material. So I have an old sleeve from a basketball t-shirt that I'm just going to cut the hem off of and use that. So the jersey is really great because what will happen is as you stretch it, it'll kind of curl up on itself, and it doesn't fray. It can unravel, but it will just kind of curl up on itself and make a nice kind of finished edge on its own. So once you've got these pieces cut out and kind of stretched out a little bit, you can then sew them on, just hand sew them on to the top of your mask, so you have two ties. When I tie my thread, I take the piece of thread and I loop it around so you have both ends. I can't really see that very well. You have both ends of the thread, and you put those two ends through the eye of the needle at the same time. So that you have this loop. And the purpose of that loop is it functions as a knot. Instead of having to tie a knot, you just put your thread through that loop and it ties off really secure without leaving any edge behind. So this is a type of mask that has a pocket for a filter, so I'm going to leave that as open as possible. I'm just going to attach this to the very, very top. So I'm going to take my needle and thread, grab a little bit of both the tie and the mask so that they're both together. Then when I get almost to the end, I've got that little loop. I put my needle through that loop and then pull it tight, and that acts as the knot. Then I just do a few whip stitches to secure the rest of it. And then once you feel that it's secure, you do another stitch, just like you're going to do a whip stitch. But as you're forming that little loop, instead of pulling it tight, put the needle through it just like you did to tie it on in the first place, and that will form another knot. You do that just a couple of times. And then at the very, very end, so that I don't have any thread loose hanging out, I just go back into the fabric of the mask and pull it out maybe about a ½ inch away, and cut that thread so it's not hanging out loose anywhere. There's no loose threads. Then I'm going to do that again on the other side. Alright, so now I have my ties on top and my ties on bottom. You can just leave it like that and have whoever you're giving it to, or if you're wearing it yourself, just tie it to however tight you want it. But one thing that I've really preferred to do, just because I feel like it's easy for everybody to just tighten and loosen, is get these little toggles. So for those, you're going to grab both of the elastics, put them together through the toggle. You can push on that to tighten and loosen it. Just so the toggle doesn't come off, I tie a knot at the end, and then it can be tightened and loosened really easily. And the elastic on the top, which is not really elastic, it's jersey, is a little bit thicker, and these toggles aren't super big, so you kind of have to make sure that you've stretched it out a little bit and get it as skinny as possible to thread it through that toggle. So then you have the same thing at the top. You can tie a knot in that so that the toggle doesn't come off, and there's probably a lot of excess too, so you can cut that off if you want to. And that's how you can easily convert an around the ear mask to an around the head mask.